Hello there, welcome. Today we're looking at the deck of the current Flesh and Blood champion. We'll have some gameplay, but first I'm gonna run through the deck with you guys. There is one particular card that I think enabled Fi to get away with a win at Barcelona, but before we're looking at that gem, let's go over what the deck wants to do in general. Fi is very known for his aggressive playstyle. There are lots of low-cost red cards in here that enable him to go very, very wide with lots of synergistic cards to his ability. So he's running lots of draconic cards that enable him to get a free Phoenix Flame basically every turn if he wants to, and also enable his Searing Blade to get a go again. When he's chaining all these small attacks, it happens pretty often that he'll get to trigger his Mask of Momentum and therefore getting insane values out of his equipment. For chess pieces, it's very matchup dependent and whether you want to run the Flamescale Furnace for pure blocking value or Fjendals for the very popular extra resource every third turn. Now, besides our classic Fi cards, there's been a quite recent addition to the Ninja card pool, which made this deck, or which enabled this deck rather, to win a tournament as big as the World Championship, and that card is Embittering Thorns. Coming in with a breakpoint for only one pitch allows you to either force your opponent to block with multiple cards or equipments, or to get an extra value on this card, which makes it a 1-card 5. And this in turn can give your next attack a breakpoint and an attack that also threatens triggering Mask. If you follow Embittering Thorns up with a Command and Conquer, that'll come in with a breakpoint of 7, which is just insane. So this card single-handedly buffed Fi by quite a bit and very much rounded out his kit. In terms of sideboard, our world champion ran a few classic tech cards. Reinforced the Line is just very strong into Bravo and even Azalea. Warmonger's Diplomacy, obviously also an Azalea counter. A really good one at that, and a really good one at that. And Erase Phase, also quite an interesting take. It allows you to counter a few matchups. For example, it's good in the Mirror, it's good into Dromai. So much about the deck, let's enjoy a bit of gameplay. Okay, we're playing against Dorinthia. That is a rather bad matchup for Fi, usually, but it is also very interesting. Tends to be a race, and I think we're keeping the Mask of Momentum here. And also the Flamescale for resetting the Dawnblade. Warmongers is quite nice. Are we cutting anything for playing this? I think we are cutting 3 blues. And that's basically it. Just leaking some damage is probably not the worst thing. And then maybe we throw another breakpoint in the in the Mounting Anger. That's what I wanted to say. This helmet is an interesting choice for sure. Even getting more equipment on turn 1, okay. Doesn't seem to be the most experienced player then. Oh, what I didn't recognize is we're actually playing against a Great X Story. Okay, so that is going to be a rather grindy matchup. Oops, didn't pay attention there. That's whatever. We want to leak as much damage as possible and create really big turns as well, because the only thing Dory with Great X is good at is trading with value, so we don't want to have a very long game. Oof, that could have been very annoying. Okay, but now we're just able to do a very standard Fi turn here. Didn't leak too much damage. And while Dorinthia with Great X is pretty annoying for Katsu, Fi has way more abilities to go wide. therefore has a way better time dealing with her. Very nice. Now we might be able to get a mask draw of this. We indeed do. Quite a bit of those cheeky draconic attacks going already, so feasibility is not costing us anything. Now we should be thinking about keeping one of those cards for an arsenal, potentially. Because it already has cards to block with anyways. And whenever we will draw an Art of War, every card in our arsenal, so one card in our arsenal is worth another point of damage. That's fine. So again, sort of oh, never mind. She cracked the bolters. Well, that Dory is going ham. But that's fine, life is a resource. We're just starting out like that. If we're lucky and get that hit through, Command and Conquer might even be 3 this turn. And even if it's not, we are very likely to have some resources floating. I'd prefer not to have this one be the breakpoint for our mask, and also the effect that banishes the Command and Conquer and gives it to us for free. Because that is just too much value for him with one block. I'd rather get the block out of him here. Hitting Ravenous Rebel, or rather a blue with the Ravenous Rebel is unlucky, but that happens. And now we go here, enabling a free Fi. Yes. Very cool. What will do this first? And then that whole thing enabled us a... Oh, actually we got another mask from him. How kind. That 1 extra damage, again, isn't worth throwing here. We rather arsenal it for a potential Art of War. And also as a draconic attack to get our Fi going. Okay, so that Dory is playing quite aggressive. Like, to be fair, it's not the correct build if you want to be swinging each turn. With this, you really rather want to play defensively and take as little damage as possible. Because, yeah, from turn to turn, we're just going to outdamage her, no problem. As it's easy to see. Is there a particular order in which we should do things? Honestly, just starting out with 2 Kodachis isn't the worst thing. Meaning we get our first mask trigger on a double strike. Okay, Dory either not paying attention at all, or she just decided that she's going to race us, and then that there's no other way in dealing with us. By now we should have 2 draconic attacks on the chain, so Fi's Phoenix Flame only costs 1. And now let's have a look at what else we can find. Quite the long turn unraveling here. And no, there shouldn't be any way, even if she keeps 4 hands. There shouldn't be any way in that in which we lose more than 10 HP this turn. And then we have a 4 card hand, which we can get back at her with. Yep, be my guest. I'm also not looking to throw the sink below here. That would just enable her to get a reprise on her attack reactions, if she runs any. Yeah. And that was quite a bit of damage, but doesn't really change anything for us here. And even throwing a Kodachi through the sink below might be worth it, since Dori is that low. Kodachis become way more relevant. And to finish everything up, we'll have a Lava Burst 5, which is pretty neat. So we're getting all of her cards. Yep. Now, this is a classic. Start off with the Snatch. Now this basically doesn't matter anymore. Could have played this in any order, really. And it's GG's.